Welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. As we embark on a night walk where it is a humid 62 degrees. Not as humid right now as it was an hour ago when it was pouring rain. I don't think we're going to get rained on tonight, but that could happen. That could very well happen, my friends. But I am wearing a long sleeve shirt that is not too thick as I get warmed up from walking. It will be okay. I'm going to do somewhere around 5.5 to 6 miles tonight. Something like that. It does feel rather nice right now, actually. Hope you're having a beautiful weekend on this wonderful Saturday night. We had a thunderstorm earlier, quite a bit of lightning, some boom booms. And we did get some much needed rain for about 3 hours. So the entire weekend news media narrative consists of Trump, obviously. You know, it just kills me because if you asked me what the Democrat policy was for midterms next year, I couldn't tell you. They couldn't either. They have their heads so far up Trump's ass right now. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to veer off to the left where we can have some more city lighting for a little bit anyway. So I really couldn't tell you what the Democrat policy is right now. I can tell you what Ma'am Donnie, guy running for New York mayor, what his policies are. They're crazy, but at least you know what they are. Democrats right now, haven't heard them talking about anything except Trump. Trump, Trump, every sentence. Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump's not running for anything. They think this is going to help them with midterms next year. I really don't understand what they're doing. And I'm kind of happy about that because that all helps us, doesn't it? So gas is $3.08. It's come down 10 cents since just last night's walk. This is that place that was overpriced to begin with because you can get it for $2.79 not very far from here at all. So whatever makes their tutti frutti, I guess. So tonight, I don't know if it's going to rain or not. But we have the waterproof GoPro if it does. We have walked in the rain before. Certainly not cold. 62 degrees and humid. So it's starting to get less humid though. So we're just gonna walk, nothing special. That's the kind of thing that when I used to ride a bike everywhere, I used to hate people that did that. That guy was in the left lane, a mile away from the guy on the bike, and he honked his horn at the guy on the bike just to be a jerk. So anyway, it is Saturday night. In the past, when we have walked on Saturday night, we have run into all kinds of people. Hopefully they will all be friendlies tonight. I am going to do a selfie view tonight. Last night the camera was mounted on my head. I was happy with the picture quality last night, but it was a little too left, right, and I usually wear a chest harness, which kind of eliminates most of that. But the best way to eliminate that is to do a selfie. And we're also doing a route that, you know, I walk it semi-frequently. So people are in the mood to toot tonight, apparently. And they don't even see that I'm carrying a camera. They're just tooting at people as they drive by, I guess. Saturday night and I ain't got nobody. I got some money 'cause I just got paid. So anyway, I'm really starting to like J.D. Vance a lot. I like what he did when he went to Europe and said right to their faces that they're censoring their people and they're a bunch of fascists. I really enjoyed that. And the Democrats keep revealing who they really are. We had Tim Kaine this week. The Tim Kaine, who was the VP running mate for Hillary Clinton. The idiot that looks like the Grinch. You put a green face on him and you put a Grinch cap on him. He's a dead ringer for the Grinch. Anyways, the more these people talk, the better. They're getting very upset in congressional hearings. They're getting very upset in Senate hearings. The Democrats are about to lose their proverbial shit. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. You know why I think they were upset this week? Because Trump did a crackdown on DC a few days ago, a couple of weeks. There's no crime to report. The citizens in DC are very happy. And Trump's approval numbers are the best they have been yet. Imagine that. You crack down on crime and your approval numbers go up. What a shocker. What a shocking revelation that is. Considering the three biggest topics before the election was the price of food, cost of living, the border, and crime. So Trump's trying to do something about it. He said he would, and he's trying to do what he said he was going to do if you voted for him. And they can't understand why his approval is at just under 56%. It's the highest approval he's ever had. This was after he lost 4 or 5 points in his approval after the one big beautiful propaganda the media was spewing. So I think the media has lost a little bit more trust with the people, because prices are going down. Price of gas is down. Ground beef is down almost $2 a pound. We already know about eggs. And there are a lot of people that are still, in my opinion, price gouging because they can. I don't think the White House is going to be able to police everybody. Somebody that watches these videos pointed out very eloquently that the price of brand name sodas is absolutely still outrageous. 12 packs of soda are $8, $9 for a 12 pack. That's outrageous. So I buy a lot of generic brands. I don't mind that. Some people do mind that. But there's a local store, Family Dollar actually. They're nationwide, but I have one pretty close, and they have 1 month. What they'll have is they'll have coupons. If you use the coupons, you actually save more, but their regular sale every month is they always alternate between Coca-Cola and Pepsi products. And so it's more difficult for me because I like the diet stuff. But regular soda, and which also includes the diet, you can get 3 12 packs for $15, $14.99. So you can get Dr. Pepper products, anything that's a Pepsi product or Coca-Cola product, depending on which brand is on sale that week. But you can get Diet Mountain Dew, which I found out is Vance's favorite soda. So President Trump likes Diet Coke, so you can get Diet Coke. You can also get Coke Zero. Now, the discussion I had the other night was how much better the Zero products taste than the Diet. And it's still diet soda with no calories, okay? You get gotta film the stuff here. There we go. Good time as any to flip the camera around. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. So yes, I've been liking J.D. Vance. Something he just did made me smile. I actually saw a screen capture of it online, where one of the liberal leftist influencers that has a few million people commented on J.D. Vance's post he made, where he had said that he feels using our military to blow up drug cartels like Tren de Aragua, leaving Venezuela, is a good use for our military. And I agree, in reference to the drug boat that Trump blew up. And this influencer came by and said that it was a war crime. And J.D. Vance came back to this guy's reply and says, I quote, "I don't give a shit what you call it." How can you not love that? It's the Vice President of the United States replying to people online. I don't give a shit what you call it. You can call it a war crime if you want to, but the United States has full authority to protect American citizens. And the left, of course, are trying desperately to make the drug boat be a boat full of migrants that Trump murdered, or to not have drugs on it, and they were just like a bunch of sightseers looking around, because there was 11 people on the boat. But you can see the stuff that's in the boat. The Trump administration claims that they had intelligence as well as satellite intel about where the boat left in Venezuela, because Venezuela is denying any involvement, of course. So this is all going to be a game by the media of gotcha, waiting for their gotcha on Trump. They've been doing that since 2015, and And we've not had any gotchas. We're not going to have any gotchas. Trump administration issued a statement saying that they were fully legal in doing what they were doing. It was looked over by their legal team before they did it. And this is just people crying. They're crying because Trump is doing something about hundreds of thousands of Americans dying from fentanyl. So one of our second cousins, a younger cousin, died from a fentanyl overdose a couple of years ago. It was actually during the pandemic. People were at home and bored, and well, they thought they were taking one drug and it was something else. So I was informed of that by one of my cousins on Facebook. Sent me a message about it a few years ago. So at this point, everybody knows somebody that's died from fentanyl. Hundreds of thousands of people have died from it. And it's no shock that Trump does all this stuff on purpose. Picks specifics to do something. One, this was coming from Venezuela. We just put a $52 million bounty on the head of Maduro for any information that leads to the arrest of Maduro, because he's a dictator. He lost that election in Venezuela, and he wouldn't step down. And his armed thugs, which has now been documented and seen by the whole world, went in and stole the ballot boxes while holding guns on people and stole the election. So anybody that argues with him has been put to death. He's a dictator, he's a thug, he's a really bad person. So even the Democrats have issued statements not recognizing him as a legitimate government. So, you know, there's not much they can say about what Trump's doing, really. So Democrats just have this, and they can't resist it. They just cannot say no to it. They have this automatic knee-jerk reaction to anything Trump does, where they go into this hyperventilating rants. Trump could write an executive order banning monkey rape, and the Democrats would be against it. Trump's got no authority. He's got no authority to do that. So these people are hopeless. They just lost in 2024 on the three big things: the economy, crime, and immigration. Those were the three biggest topics from voters. So what are the Democrats doing? They're defending crime, defending the immigrants. What are these guys doing? I mean, if you're a Democrat and you're watching this, why is your party so stupid? What happened to you guys? Numbers came out this week that almost 5 million Democrats have left the Democratic Party. Not all of them became Republicans, but some of them did. And some of them are just going to be independent. So that's what the next election is going to be about. It's going to be about, is somebody doing something about immigration? Are prices coming down? And I've said that's a big one Trump needs to fix. The other one is crime. People are fatigued by it. They are fatigued. they're tired of hearing the same old Democrat crying talking points of do nothing, the do nothing Democrats. And Trump knows this, so he's doing something. Maybe you don't agree with the methods, maybe you don't agree with the National Guard being used. But everybody's in agreement that crime is a problem in big cities. And alls I've seen, and alls you've seen, is Democrats on TV defending, saying there isn't a crime problem. Pritzker in Illinois embarrassing himself, going out at 6 o'clock in the morning when the thugs are in bed, with his armed security team behind him off camera, walking around Chicago. Oh, look how safe this is. The American people are not that stupid. So that didn't work well for them. And Trump's numbers have gone up. Now the funniest poll I saw today, and this is hilarious, this was a poll done by YouGov, okay, one of the worst polling companies before the election, saying that Kamala Harris was winning Iowa and that Trump was behind Kamala by 5 points. This is the same polling company, YouGov. So this was a Newsweek / YouGov poll. You ready for this? If the election were held today for president between Gavin Newsom and J.D. Vance, Gavin Newsom would win by 6%. That's what this poll said. I saw 3 other polls this week by more trusted polling companies said it was the opposite. J.D. Vance would win all 7 swing states by a lot and would beat Gavin Newsom nationally by 9 points. Now that I believe. Somebody from California is not going to be president of the United States. He's got too many flip-flops, too many wishy-washy past statements, because he loves getting in front of cameras. There's miles and miles and miles of video of him talking stupid, crazy stuff, like supporting trans women in women's sports, and then statements on a radio podcast where he's not supporting it, or he wouldn't say he's not supporting it, where he would admit how unfair it is. I could see how people would think that was unfair, he said. So nobody right now is defending transgenderism in the Democratic Party. They've dropped it like a hot, toxic potato that it is. So this is all getting interesting, folks, because now you're starting to see J.D. Vance assert himself, and he's going to be with Trump for the rest of Trump's term. And the best thing that could actually happen for J.D. Vance, and I'm not saying I'm wishing it happens, I'm just saying the best thing politically would be as if Trump dropped dead, because then he would be the president and he would be able to run 2 more terms, because he didn't run for this election to be president. So that would be the best thing, because he's going to be really good at it. And the reason why I say that is, hear me out on this, right? J.D. Vance is sharp as a tack. He is very intelligent, very eloquent in speech. He gets to the point. He doesn't serve up political slop. He says what's on his mind, like Trump does. And he has no regrets when he says it. Like that comment I just told you about, when somebody said that what Trump did was war crimes, blowing up that boat off Venezuela. MSNBC called it an act of war. MSNBC said that was an act of war. Isn't that the funniest thing? So J.D. Vance just simply said, I don't give a shit what you call it. In other words, it had to be done. We did it. The people will be happy about it because they know it needed to be done. The media has lost its power, and I think it's glorious. Trump's going to keep going up in the polling, especially when people start getting the tax breaks, doubled child tax credits, no tax on tips when that kicks in. Those are things that are going to kick in next year. So they are not slated to kick in this year. So they can go ahead and say what they want about the one big beautiful bill, discredit it all they want to, but when people start getting their money back, and some schmuck that earns $34,000 a year gets almost all of his paycheck back every week with no taxes taken out, because it's based on income. Now, the more you make, the less you're going to feel good about, but everybody's going to notice it. It's going to be noticeable by everybody. And the reason why there was a sticking point on the state and local taxes in the one big beautiful bill is because the Republican senators wanted to make sure that if people were getting a tax cut that big, that Democrats would not see it in your state as an opportunity to raise taxes on the state taxes. Because you know Democrats will do that. The Democrats here in Maine will see that as an opportunity to raise taxes. So we gotta watch out for that. Clean the lens off. Right now it's sprinkling. A little bit of moisture in the air. I feel the water on my face, which is okay. So now we're at 2 mile mark. Came this way to avoid the college kids we can hear in the background. Wanted a little more peace and quiet tonight. But I am starting to get wet. I can see the water in the puddles. So you're gonna see J.Beau get wet tonight, looks like, which is okay. I'm not made of sugar, I'm not gonna melt. That's what my mama used to say to me. We'd be out somewhere, we didn't have a car. I'd say, Mom, it's raining. Oh, be quiet. You're not made of sugar, you're not gonna melt. Which is good. So anyway, I'm going to take an opportunity to say that I would love to see J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio on the same ticket. Now, Marco Rubio is also popular with Republicans, but the interactive polling company that I saw did a poll on that with the top Republicans who would have their names in for a primary. And pretty much J.D. Vance was at the top of the ticket, easy. And Rubio was at 9% of Republicans wanting Rubio for the presidential candidate. So that was for the presidential. So I think it's going to be J.D. Vance. I don't see anybody else. I really don't. I just don't. He's handles himself incredibly well. He looks good, he speaks well, he's young, vibrant. He's 42 or 43, something like that. And you have to be, forget what the Constitution says for an age that you have to be. think you have to be at least 38 or something like that. John F. Kennedy was 43, I think, 42. So he was the youngest president, as far as I know. So J.D. Vance has a shot, absolutely. Plus he will have been the vice president, and he's doing a good job as vice president. So, you know, he's building a resume. And I think by the time the next election comes, he's going to be the guy. And he's full of sass. He says things like they are. And you saw him in the debate. You've seen him debating these news media people. And they don't have him on there anymore. Have you noticed that? They stopped having J.D. Vance on there because he makes them look foolish. So, very interesting, I think. We got a deep bench. Democrats, they got Newsom. I think Kamala Harris is still leading there. The same poll I was talking about with J.D. Vance, Kamala Harris is leading for the Democrats with Gavin Newsom second. That gives you any indication what shape they're in. So they got nobody. They got nobody. And I hope they run Kamala Harris out there again. I really do. I wouldn't be worried about Gavin Newsom either. He's got too much baggage, like I was saying. Way too much. He's said too much, he talks too much. Plus we have the job performance of him running California. Hope you guys remember last year, I think it was, Gavin Newsom challenged DeSantis to a debate. And or it might have been a year and a half ago. You know, I don't think Trump was officially the candidate yet. But anyway, DeSantis and Newsom had a debate with Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity let them talk, and DeSantis just had Newsom for freaking lunch. It was embarrassing. Because Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, those people, they're used to doing press conferences in California, and they're coddled by the media. They don't get asked tough questions. It's just like when Joe Biden would do press conferences. And he'd get at, you know, he just 13 Marines killed in Afghanistan. And one of the most embarrassing military things to ever happen to us. And the media is asking him what his favorite fucking flavor of ice cream is. You know? And he had a note card with names on it on who he should call. And they had all the pre-scripted questions. They knew the questions ahead of time. Trump just sits down, does 3-hour press conferences, takes an hour and a half of questions. Just answers the questions. You know? It's so refreshing to see people that aren't stupid in the government doing press conferences, finally. So, anyway, I'm gonna make a pit stop at the restroom over here. I gots to go. I gots to go. I had some coffee. I had a diet cola, which has a lot of caffeine. I also had a diet orange soda, which didn't have any caffeine, but I had 2 doses of caffeine to 1 non-caffeine, and it's barking at me. So we'll go take care of that, and then when I pop out, we'll talk about something else. I'm getting drizzled on. There's drizzle. Starting to get wet. Anyways, my friends, I'll be right back, guys. Thank you for walking with me tonight. It's the most enjoyable day. The Democrats are freaking out. They don't have any answers. They don't know what to do. The hearings this week with RFK Jr., they embarrassed themselves big time. I mean, wow. They keep repeating the media talking points, which aren't true. So you have senators coming into a committee hearing, regurgitating bullshit. I got to talk about autism too, coming up. Somebody leaked something to the media, and I think it's true. I'll be with you in a moment. Hang on. All right, my friends. Camera's all slippery. My hands are, I greased up my hands with hand sanitizer, and it's humid, so it's taking a while to evaporate. Mostly alcohol. Shouldn't take too long. So anyway, they're embarrassing themselves at committee hearings, and you had RFK Jr. talking about vaccines and stuff like that, and he clearly stated he's not against vaccines, he's just against the ones that are not safe, and there's evidence to back that up, and there's very little evidence because the big pharma won't release the information about the other types of vaccines. And he's removing the mandate, the school mandate, that every student has to vaccinate. And he's making it optional. Parental rights. If I had a kid in public schools right now, I'd be very upset with vaccine mandates. I don't want my kid to have that junk. I wouldn't mind the measles vaccine because that's an actual vaccine. It's not mRNA technology. I would want to know about the specific vaccines that my kid is getting from the doctor. Who makes it? What alternative? You know, parents should be asking more questions now. That's what they should be doing. So, I think that's what a lot of people are doing. Got another house here with orange lights, getting ready for Halloween. Everybody's in the Halloween mood. It's still a couple of months. I don't put anything up for Halloween until it's October. I'll get a couple of pumpkins, and I got pumpkin lights that go inside. And but I also have a plastic pumpkin that has a light bulb inside, jack-o'-lantern. I like that too. And I go on a horror movie binge. But anyway, something was leaked to the media. RFK is going to be doing a big announcement towards the end of this month. And it's going to have to do with autism. The levels of autism right now are off the charts to the point where it's unbelievable. 1 in 34, okay, 1 in 34 kids born are showing signs of being the autism spectrum. That used to be 1 in over 10,000 or more years ago. And something's causing it. RFK Jr. said, you know, people can get upset about things. You had a whole bunch of people that led an entire movement trying to ban vaccines, claiming that they cause autism. And there's never been solid evidence of that. I have to admit that. A lot of people still believe that. A lot of Democrats did until COVID came along. As soon as COVID came along and they wanted everybody to get a shot, all of a sudden, all of these Hollywood Democrats, like Baldwin, who were anti-vaccine, claiming it caused autism, which again, there's no evidence of that. It's just one of those things where people say, well, that must be it because we're vaccinating everybody and kids at an alarming rate are getting autism. They were close. But what was leaked, and I'm going to turn the camera around for this. What was leaked, and I believe they found it, acetaminophen, Tylenol type products, generic and brand name. That was what was leaked. President Trump sanctioned I think he sanctioned $52 million to do this study with the world's top professionals. Okay, this isn't an RFK study. He campaigned and said they were going to find out what caused autism, and that's what he's doing. Imagine that. The president keeps his promises, does what he says. He also demanded Big Pharma release all of the COVID vaccine information and mRNA technology, good, bad, or indifferent. He goes, whether you support it or whether you don't, we need to have a final answer on this so people can shut the fuck up about it, basically, is what he's saying. So, he also wants to know that if he was lied to by Big Pharma for Operation Warp Speed, because the President of the United States, with a stroke of his pen, made Big Pharma hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars with vaccine shots, which when it first rolled out, they were not cheap, and the government was paying for them so people didn't have to buy it. And everybody knows that's a recipe for disaster. And there's no repercussions for Big Pharma. They had a waiver. If it wasn't safe and effective, they wouldn't be held accountable. And what they did in their studies was to be kept secret for, I think, a period of 5 years, which we're just about there now. So Trump wants it all released. All of it. Not some of it, not most of it. He wants all of it. So anyway, Tylenol. Well, the studies that they have done that cost a lot of money to do and have people that don't like Trump doing them have come up with Tylenol as the connecting factor. Tylenol and folic acid. Some mothers who had a lack of folic acid and were taking Tylenol either for pain or a fever reducer, because doctors have long prescribed Tylenol for pregnant parents for fever, because quote unquote it's safe for the baby. They won't prescribe any other painkillers because it's already known that ibuprofen is not safe for a pregnant mother. So the option was Tylenol. So what the study is going to finish calculating before it's revealed is how many were prenatal, postnatal, or natal. I don't know what that word is. Pregnant people out there know what I'm talking about. So it looks like it's Tylenol, acetaminophen. Simple as that. That's what it looks like. And it had to have been a very common thread of something that everybody that's pregnant is doing, because these numbers are just way too high. So what they're thinking is, some of it might have to do with genetics, but a lot of it might have to do with taking a certain amount of Tylenol and having a deficiency in folic acid. Very important for neurological development of a fetus. And that can cause problems with the brain. So I think that's what they're going to end up coming out with. Everybody suspected that RFK was going to say it's vaccines. But anyway, that news story broke and Tylenol's stock went down 11% just on the rumor. Monday morning when the bell rings, it's probably going to drop even more. But that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And that would explain why a lot of people in my age group, very, very low autism, hardly existent at all for anyone over 35, I think. So something happened, you know, in that time frame. Now, when I was born, they didn't have any over-the-counter pain medications. They really didn't. Tylenol didn't come out until, geez, the 70s. My mom used to take it in the late 70s when she had her headaches. She used to get some really bad ones. And that was all that was available. Acetaminophen causes liver toxicity also. That's a known fact. And so does ibuprofen if you take a lot of it regularly. So there's really no good solutions there. Painkillers are, well, they do some tricks to your body that your body is not really used to doing naturally. So you end up with the potential of having liver damage from it. But again, it has to be a lot and taken a lot. Now, through a part of my lifetime, I used to have headaches very often, and I would have to take prescription strength ibuprofen. Over the counter, it was like 200 milligrams. Well, I would take 6 of those. 6 of those because that's 1,200. That is prescription strength. That's what you get from a doctor. And it has to do with body mass, body weight. I'm not a small person. So somebody that's tiny, 2 ibuprofen probably works fine. But when you add twice that person's body weight, I weigh 224 right now. So five or 6 ibuprofen and my headache's gone. So it's been very good for me, but I gotta tell you honestly, since I've been walking, I haven't had that many headaches. I mean, sometimes I still get one, but that's after, you know, I crack my neck or my jaw cracks. Sometimes I'll get tension built up and then my jaw will crack. Then a half hour later, I'll get a headache, tension headache, which can be very painful. When I was 20 years old once, I remember one hurt so bad, I actually thought about asking somebody to knock me out. That was how bad it hurt. That's still right up there with the worst toothache I ever had. I remember one night coming back from playing ice hockey in Lisbon. I had to pull over. I mean, this toothache hurt so bad I could barely stand it. I just pulled over and waited for the pain to subside enough so I could drive. So, you know, a lot of people, when I had a toothache, Advil, not Advil, but Aleve, different kind of painkiller that works 12 hours. Well, you're supposed to take 1 or 2 of those because those are pretty potent. And I would take 4 of those, 6 of those for a toothache. And it worked. It did. It did a pretty good job on tooth pain. So bones and joints, headaches, ibuprofen. Nerve pain, for me, Aleve. So I remember one time I got prescribed Tylenol with codeine. Codeine 3, I think it was. Tylenol 3 with codeine. Or Tylenol 3 has codeine, whatever it was. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't kill the pain at all. Tylenol does absolutely nothing for me. It just doesn't work. So I ended up, all I got from the codeine was gas. That's all I got from it. Didn't like that at all. Now, another time I got prescribed Vicodin, codeine, whatever it is, and I turned my head and I was seeing streaks. Yeah, well, I'm all done with this. I don't like taking drugs. I don't like how they make me feel, so I ended up tossing those out, and I took ibuprofen. And ibuprofen did the trick for me. I didn't need a prescription. So anyways, just led me off on that topic, that's all. So right now the sky is trying to clear up. The moon is trying to poke out. And last night it looked like it was almost full. So tonight may be a full moon, I'm not sure. I did not check. But this is September 6th today. September. I'm going to hang a right up ahead. And we're going to head on down. Still got about 2.5 to 3 miles left to walk. Maybe 2.5, I'm guessing. So I'm going to turn the camera around for a few minutes. Take a look. Take a look, see what I'm looking at. Quiet tonight. I am wet with sweat. It is humid. It's going to be foggy tonight. But we got a front that's going to be going by. And the next few days we're going to be 65 to 70 degrees. 72. Like that. And we got a moon up there trying to poke out. That looks like a full moon. That looks like a full moon. That is shaped just like a quarter. Ow! Ow! Like I said the other night, last walk, I don't have silver bullets. And a werewolf pops out of a bush, I'm screwed. So I think we're going to get some more rain during the week this week. Just one day. Doesn't look to be like anything much, if at all. So we'll just hang loose. Finish up this walk. Car coming up there has got bouncy headlights. What's that all about? It's bouncy. Does it need new shocks? Look at it. It's freaking. Just hit 3 miles. I didn't like how that truck took that turn. It looked like it was going to do an S turn right where I was walking, and it didn't see me. And then it didn't do that. Very strange. I was nervous for a minute. Then I remembered I'm wearing my MAHA hat. Oh boy. Some angry migrants might run me over. Hope that doesn't happen. camera was rattling a little bit. I had to tighten it down. Frogs are frogging. Oh, somebody's out there with a dog. Nope. I'm gonna go across the street anyway, though. So I don't end up with headlights in my face. See? I would have had headlights in my face. Might whip up some leftover pasta I got in a box. I meant to buy some more and I forgot. But I'm in the mood for pasta, so I'm going to cook what I got left. All these leaves up here are turning brown. Look at that. Those are not turning colors, they're turning brown. I was so looking forward to doing fall foliage this year with the 360 camera. And you watch what happens. We're going to have a really crappy fall foliage this year. You watch. Salute the flag, as I always do when I go by here. Always do every time I go by here. Salute the flag. That's pretty bad. I bought 2 12-packs of fizz, and 2 days later I think I got like 6 left. So I went on a binge. I like my fizz, I don't know what to tell you. I like to stay hydrated. So we're up to 840 plus miles now. Tonight's going to be 846 on the year, I think. For some reason I thought I had more than that. I did have one walk where my app screwed up. It only registered 2 miles, so. But I'm not going to make a big deal over 3.5 or 4 miles. Look at that moon. Doesn't look like much on here. In person I can see the face on it, but you can't, and it looks further away. Plus there's clouds moving in front of it. Looks like a movie moon. Ow! Ow, ow, ow! Look at that. I don't want to get eaten by a werewolf. That's a cool looking moon. Turn this around. There you go, my friends. All packed with stuff. I got batteries, I got a phone, and I like these pants because they fit me baggy and they got lots of pockets. I got another pair that's thinner and they fit me more tightly with pockets, but the temperature is getting cooler now. It's going to be time for these again. Ow! So what the hell else can we talk about tonight? I already talked about the trans gun ban. Looks like that's dead in the water, thankfully. I think the New York Post put out a good opinion piece today saying whoever at the Department of Justice that came up with that idea should not be in the Department of Justice and they should lose their job. And I agree. For one thing, that would have lost. Any lawsuit would have won. That just would have lost. You cannot designate a group to not have a constitutional right. I mean, on its face, that was stupid. Even a low tier person working at the Department of Justice could have told you that. I stand up for the Second Amendment for all Americans, all. I also stand up for free speech, so that includes these crazy trans lunatics with these flags saying that if you don't give us our rights, we're going to defend them, and they use pictures of guns and stuff. That's protected free speech. There's no different than conservatives with similar signs with topics that matter to us. So you can't have it where it's okay for you and not for anybody else. And it's really concerning to me that Republicans even contemplated that. Sure, you don't like those signs. You don't like the trans flag, you don't like seeing a rifle on it, and they're saying that they'll do what they got to do to protect their rights. What do conservatives do? They get flags with guns on them, saying the Second Amendment is my right, don't take my rights from me, come and take it from my cold dead hands. That's okay for us to say, but they can't say something similar. That's what the Second Amendment is. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. They're not saying they're going to go out and commit violence. They're saying if you steal my rights, you're going to have to come through me and my firearm. That's what the Second Amendment's for. That's not a threat. Conservatives do that, and they're doing that. They have every right in this country to do that. They're not directly threatening anybody. So if you're one of those people that said that, you know, sorry, but you're wrong. Very wrong. So wrong, it's, you know, you got all these Republicans. For years now, it's all I've heard about. Democrats want to pass red flag laws. They want to take guns from people that haven't done anything illegal because they get post-traumatic stress or they're just depressed. But those same people this week, oh yeah, great idea, let's take the guns from these lunatics. Yeah, that makes you the bad person. That makes you the asshole. So I read comment after comment on the internet this week. Finally, the NRA and Gun Owners of America came out and said, Second Amendment is for everybody. We will sue the government if they do this. And then we have some conservative media people finally saying that you can't do that. And unfortunately, the Five did a roundtable like they usually do, and they were actually saying it was a good idea. And fuck them for saying that. That is stupid talk. That's no different than what Democrats do. I'll never support that, not ever. And I noticed they stopped talking about it because they saw the backlash from true conservative Republicans who would die to protect the Constitution, saying you can't do that. People like me. I will stick up for the Second Amendment, always. There should not be any permits needed to carry nationally. Every state should be reciprocal. You should be able to take your firearm to every state you go through. That is a Second Amendment right. You have free speech in every state. You have the right to say what you want in every state. And then you get the Second Amendment saying you have the right to bear arms and it shall not be infringed. Yet you can't drive through the state of New York with a firearm from Maine where you get arrested for a felony. You can't have ammunition in your car. That's a felony. Disgusting. Horrible. So we can't do things that Democrats have wanted to do, like psychiatric evaluation before you can buy a firearm. That's what people online were suggesting that called themselves constitutional Republicans were saying trans people need to do. Where the fuck did that come from? I mean, what's wrong with these people? Incredible. Never thought I would see that. Second Amendment's crystal clear. Shall not be infringed. All citizens have a right to bear arms. And then they try to throw in, oh, so somebody that's been arrested for domestic abuse should have a gun too? It's not what I said. Any citizen who doesn't have a criminal record and things like that, you gotta have due process. You can't just say this group of people can't have a gun. So whatever friggin' examples you try to bring up to try to justify it with a whataboutism, which every time somebody does that, I'd like to reach through a computer screen and jab him in the face a few times with an ice pick, but you can't. But it's the most stupid, asinine argument. What about? What about? I guess you support this then, don't you? You know, idiot talk like that. Morons. So, unfortunately, the world is full of morons. So anyway, turn the camera around. I got my flashlight because we're going to be walking through a stretch where there's no street lights up around the corner. I don't want to get hit by a deer running out of the woods or attacked by a werewolf. But like I said, it won't matter because I don't have any silver bullets. Apparently that's the only thing that'll work on a lichen. I don't liken lichens. Learned a new word today because I read. You know what new word I learned was? Preambulate. Preambulate means to wander around and investigate with purpose. I am preambulating right now. Isn't that great? The British call it tootling about. So while I'm out tootling about, preambulating, I'm having discussions with you. You see the full moon up there, full mooning. I actually feel very calm, and I'm in a great mood when there's a full moon. Some people get all screwy. I'm in a good mood tonight. We'll have some pasta. I'm going to have some tomato sauce on it, and I'm going to put some chili powder and some onions in the tomato sauce. Instead of making an Italian sauce, I'm going to make it more like a well, I'm going to season it like Hispanic Mexican food. Chili powder. I like how chili powder tastes. And I got some that has some peppers in it. It's got a little bit of zing to it, if you know what I mean, on the tongue. I think I'll do that. That'll be good. Yeah, pretty soon I'm going to have to start bundling up to walk. I'm going to have to start wearing my camouflage leggings I got, which I wear to the range. Keep me warm when I'm walking. Double shirts. Then it'll be double shirts with a sweatshirt on top. And then it'll be double shirts with a sweatshirt and then a really thick hoodie on top. With gloves. The reason why I wear camouflage leggings is because we have a nuclear war. I got stuck out of the house in my underwear. I'll have camouflage leggings and nobody will be able to see me. I got desert camo, I got green camo, and I have black, white, and gray camo. So I can hide in an ashtray after the nuclear holocaust. Gotta switch hands here. My right arm's falling asleep. I'm carrying the camera. It's not so bad carrying the selfie stick upright like this, but when it's fully extended out, it gets tiring after a while. Oh, somebody's getting ready for winter. I got a pile of wood to burn. I had a whole bunch of wood delivered for the wood stove. I'm not going to need the furnace for another month or more. Beautiful night tonight. Good night for a walk. 62 degrees, not windy. It's humid. Sweating a little bit, but better than being cold. Car coming up there. I'm gonna go across the street now. Now, if you're wondering, tonight I've been wearing these hiking shoes These hiking shoes have really good reflectors on them. And so does my backpack. Oh. Got an LL Bean backpack, which has a reflective stripe across the back of the backpack. And that's because they're popular with kids. Oh, look at that. They filled in the flood damage. See this? Ah, look at that. Now they get these big giant rocks here. They're not going to wash away in downpours. Very nice. Can't walk on it though. Car's coming, I can come over here and stand on it. Can't walk anywhere. I can stand on it till cars go by. Go across here. Put my flashlight on now, which you can see. That way I can see if I'm stepping in a hole or not. Like we had a downpour today. If a new hole got washed out by running water, I wouldn't see it until I stepped in it and fell on my face in the dark. That looks cool. We got the street light here, the moon, clouds going in front of the moon. Looks pretty awesome. I hear a car coming behind me, and there's one coming towards me. I don't see any eyeballs. There's no werewolves looking at me in the woods. What color are werewolf eyes? I always see them in the movies, they're always red. Right? Not wrong with that, am I? I don't want to see any red eyeballs in the woods. White is okay. Even yellow would be okay. Even though it could be that monster in the crate from the Creepshow movie. Wouldn't like that at all. That thing was one tough bugger. Here, got this apple tree here. And you seeing what I'm seeing? There's not very many, well, I guess there's quite a few apples, not as much as last year. I think that has to do with rain. Now, I think that rain's going to affect everything, or the lack of it, for animals to have stuff to eat. That's the same apple tree that I saw a porcupine. Pineapple, a porcupine sitting underneath. Oh, there we are, right there. See that? 1, 2 deer, 3 deer. Well, you can't see that, I don't think. 2, 3. Oh, they're taking off to the woods. Those are the same 3 deer we see out here. I don't want to put the flashlight on them too long because they'll spook them and they'll run out in the road in front of a car, and that would feel horrible. But I have come right here before, and these bushes right here, there was like 4 or 5 deer last year. They scared the friggin' crap out of me. I didn't even see them. There they are. They're still looking at me. And I know you can't see that, but there they are right there. They got eyeballs looking at me. Anything else out in the woods looking at me? Anybody at all? Boy, is it dark. The moon's getting covered up. Get that street light up ahead, though. Can hear rain dripping off the tree leaves. The breeze. Well, I'm at 5 miles. We're at the 5-mile mark. Turn my flashlight off. Got it in my hand though, in case anything pops out that I need to see. I can hear everything. Water dripping off leaves, crickets, frogs. It's quiet. Heard something in the woods. All right. Some cars coming here. Hate it when people stop like that and they don't have to. So my friends, that's what it comes down to. We have Democrats defending criminals. We have, as I scour the woods with my light, we have Democrats defending criminals. We got Democrats defending importers of fentanyl. We have Democrats defending Tren de Aragua, drug cartels, illegal immigrants, which, by the way, my brother had sent me a text yesterday telling me about this, but I finally saw it show up in the media today. But a Georgia battery plant had 475 illegals working there that got rounded up by ICE. 475 that they were paying slave labor to. Horrible. Horrible. So doing what has to be done. And damn the Democrats for allowing this, as well as many Republicans that were in office that could have done something about this. It's a taboo subject. Republicans were afraid of it before Trump came along. Because what did they do when Trump started talking about it? Trump's a racist and a bigot. If he gets elected president, the Republican Party will be destroyed. We don't want a Nazi in the White House. That is the literal commentary from many Republicans. That includes J.D. Vance, who's the vice president now. He had nothing nice to say about Trump in 2015. So, but he's come around. He understands. Now everybody knows what Trump is about. We're doing what we gotta do. Oh, I'm gonna put my flashlight in my pocket now. Now that I have plenty of street lights. Unless the boogeyman comes out of the woods. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this walk up ahead. Not outside the cannabis store tonight. I'm going to meander on further down. Definitely going to have my 6 miles tonight. A little plush stuffed animal there, trying to figure out what it was. Still don't know what it was. Kind of looked like an owl. An owl or some kind of fox thing. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Cut across here. Yeah, I put the AC on last night. Not because it was particularly hot or anything, but it was very humid again. And it might be tonight for a little while. I may put the AC back on just to keep the fog and the humidity away from the vinyl records and the firearms. Moisture in the air and firearms don't mix. We got to keep things dry. So I'm at 5.5 miles right now. I still got a little ways to go. I'll stop recording up ahead. So we'll turn this around. Alright, everybody. If you're having a good time this Saturday night, I decided to go have some exercise. Now I'm going to have a nice dinner. It's probably about 9:30 right now, 9:45. I'll take a shower, whip up some grub. So anyway, you know, this is an important time in our history. I know I say that a lot, but it's true. It really is. Right now this is the time as an American to be alive. This is a really important time in our history that's going to shape the next 30 years, 40 years. I'll be long gone. And it's nice to be a part of this. Voting is really nice. Supporting these policies is really nice because you know you're right and you saw your country going in the wrong direction with socialism, and that's still a problem. They're not going to go away, but thankfully they're so crazy and so loony that Americans are waking up to it and they're not supporting it, which makes me very happy. We're got a nice night tonight. Very nice tonight. So my friends, I want to thank you for walking with me. Click like and subscribe, share the content. Say a prayer for Trump and the country. Say a prayer for you and your family. Be kind to one another. Enjoy life. And look out for one another. And we'll see you on the next walk, my friends. Thank you for walking with J.Beau. God bless all of you. Good night. See you on the next walk. Bye-bye.